Hey, how's everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about shading, and I'll probably stay on more the topic of staying focused and what you do to keep going and stay motivated. I like where the series is going with that whole helping each other out, exploring what keeps you as an artist motivated, what are your tricks, what do you do when you find yourself going in a rut. So, with that said, let's get into these shading techniques and a little bit about staying motivated. Peace. Hello, hey, what's up, y'all? So yeah, we will talk about how I shade and some techniques. It's nothing serious or major, but I get asked a lot about how I shade and what I use the shade with and all that good stuff. And we'll also go over a little bit of some more motivation stuff and what keeps you guys motivated and stuff like that. I kind of like I stated in the intro, I like seeing how people stay motivated. I like how people motivate each other to keep going, especially in the art business. It's kind of rough, so it's not for the faint of heart. So let's just jump into it. So what I use and what I'm using in this video is a Graph Gear 1000 from Pentel. I'll have a link in the description below. I'm also using blue lead. People ask me a lot why blue lead, and I don't mind explaining, but I've explained it a lot, so I don't think I'm gonna go back into that. But so when I shade, what I do is I block out shapes. I always use reference because reference is the best thing for shading in general, because you get real images and you get real shading from real lighting. It's nothing, you shouldn't make up shade. Even if you're using like a mannequin or something, get a light source and use correct shading. And so right now, like I said, what I'm doing is I've blocked out some shapes where some hard light source is, also where some heavy shade is, or some shadows, which is what I'm doing now. And so I'll do a light over once kind of layer, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, a really light layer, but I can still see the shape that I've want to get that shading going. Once I have them shapes and I put like a light layer of pencil down, then the rest is pencil control, if you will. I'll go in sometimes hard if I know exactly where I want that hard shadow to be, and then I'll just start letting up off of the pressure some. I'm also learning tattooing, so when you're packing ink in to a tattoo on the skin, I was taught to go in a little small circular motion, and so that's kind of what I'm doing here. Just small circular motions, packing in, and I'm very light, pressure sensitive, I guess. Excuse me. I don't know why I feel like I'm out of breath, but yeah, I'll go in small circles unless I kind of know exactly where I want stuff to be. Kind of right here, I am doing little circles, maybe some light pressure, and then I'll just go back over it over and over. So I think this section of her breast probably took me about maybe 10 minutes or so. I mean, this is real time. At some point it'll speed back up here and it'll be time lapsed. Then we'll talk a little bit about some other stuff, but right now that's all what I'm doing. I'll lay down one layer of pencil, which is very light, I think right now I'm just kind of outlining, laying down some harder lines just so I know exactly where I want stuff to be. I also do a cross hatching type of style, and I don't even think I use cross hatching at times. It'll just be line weight, but it'll be in like a feathery type of, I don't know, beginning and ending to show shading. Again, I'll do heavy lines and then kind of lift up off the pressure a little bit and just make some shading techniques that way as well. I was going to do separate, like a separate sheet of paper and actually show you, but I was figuring, heck, I'm drawing already, I might as well just record it and use this as some shading techniques and how-tos of what I do for shading. And I'm back at it again. Right here I'm using very small circles, and also again looking at reference to make sure the shading and lighting and everything is the way it's supposed to be. I'm more of a realistic type drawing person, and by all means, if you are like a cartoonist or, you know, anything of that nature, I mean, for me personally, I still think you should have a light source, but your light source will probably, I don't know, maybe be off just a little bit because it's not real life, but it should be pretty close. If you kind of, what I always was taught, like when I'm drawing something, if I don't have a real light source, kind of just put a little arrow in the upper left or right hand corner, lower right hand corner or left hand corner, and draw an arrow to the figure of what you're drawing, whether it's a person, a ball, a cube, whatever. And you'll pretty much generally get the correct light source of what you're wanting to accomplish. Don't just be out there willy-nilly putting shadow and highlights all over the place, and it just doesn't look right. At this point here, I am just working on some ornamental stuff on the armor, but and if I happen to go silent at any moment, just kind of still watch the video. I guess it's me just allowing you guys a minute to, you know, take it all in. Maybe I just don't have anything else to say at the moment. Just letting the video and instruction, I guess, of the video itself take over, and so you can actually see what's happening. Yeah, I've been doing, I guess I can say or explain to you guys why I use the blue line pencil. And it was from back in the day when comics were done traditionally. I was going to say manually, not manually. They were done traditionally, and the penciler would pencil and draw in blue line, pass it on to the inker. He would ink over those blue lines, and then they would scan it in and then pass it on to the colorist. They were non-photo blue pencils, which don't pick up when they get scanned in. And so that was just one less job the inker had to worry about after he inked over the penciler's lines. So like before the blue lines, they used regular lead pencil. And when the inker wasn't maybe precise, or the penciler gave the inker some free or leeway when he went to go over his line work, there was pencil lines that had to be erased. So when it scanned in, it wouldn't get picked up, or the colors would have to deal with that. So started using blue lines, and that eliminated a lot of the cleanup process. So that's, and the reason I do it is I sat under Brian Stelfreeze for a little bit. If you guys don't know who that is, you should check him out. Like, ridiculously amazing. And so yeah, I kind of just adopted that because, one, I just thought it was cool to draw in a different color pencil, and it just stuck with me. I don't think I've drawn anything in a regular colored graphite pencil for years now. Even looking back on some of my old work and old posts from Instagram, it's really been all blue lines. So and here I'm doing the same thing. You can see me putting down a base, real light base, and then I had shapes under there that you probably can't really see, but there were shapes of what I wanted. Sometimes I could see the shape by looking at the reference, and so I might not need to draw it all the time. And I've been drawing for a while, so I kind of know where I want that shadow to drop and fall anyway. And now I'm going back over it with a nice circular, tight little circular pattern. And it's just layer after layer after layer. So it takes a little bit of time to do some traditional work, as all traditional artists kind of know. In digital, you can get away with gradations and all that stuff with the tools and stuff that Photoshop or Manga Studio or something like that has, which, is great. It's cool. If you can manipulate that, then fine, do it. But traditional, whether it's painting with oils, acrylics, graphite, just takes a minute to do this stuff. So, looks like I got about 5 minutes. Maybe we could talk a little bit about, and this is switching gears, sorry. I just, again, want to talk a little bit about motivation and what keeps you guys going. For me, I can't remember if I stated this before, but one is I make sure I try and draw daily. Whether it's a little something here or there. Like this evening, I will probably draw one of my followers or somebody that follows me or something, some of their artwork. There's plenty of stuff to draw and do. If you're motivated by somebody else's art, draw it. Don't steal it. Claim you did it. Give the person credit, but draw somebody else's stuff. Draw hands. You guys know I got an eBook out there. Grab that. Draw that. Practice some hands, some part of anatomy, but at least 5 minutes. That motivates me just to pick up the pencil and keep going. Looking at others' art motivates me. Having certain mentors that are above me and higher than me to where I want to achieve certain things, that also motivates me to keep going. Having a plan wrote out, that is probably one of the bigger things. Is now I can gauge on what I haven't or have done. I mean, I can sit back and be like, oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to be that, but how can I gauge myself on that if I don't know where I'm supposed to be? So that is what motivates me to, some of the things anyway, that motivates me to keep going. One, I just love to draw, so I'll keep going with that as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys have. If you got anything that you're motivated with, that keeps you going, and when you're in a rut, what do you do? Like, do you call somebody? Is there certain music? Like, and I'm talking about like real ruts, not like just a day or two of not drawing. I mean, I think all artists, whether musically, poetry, writers, all of us go through those type of little quick stints. But I'm talking about like when you just don't know what to do. Like, what's some of the things you find out or that helps you get through like a serious week or two of just not doing anything? Because those will kill you. Those will kill your inspiration. Something will always come up. Then you're just like, I remember I used to draw, and then now it's too late. I guess it's never too late. I take that back. But it's very hard to come back from, I used to, my dad is a, prime example of, I remember I used to draw like you. Well, I don't want to be in that situation where it's like, I remember, I was able to draw like that and I could have went somewhere. I don't want to be in that situation. So, like I said, just staying around other artists and other people that are motivated to make this art life happen is really how I stay motivated as well. But yeah, like I said, at the bottom, post them. Let me know what you guys do to stay motivated. As always, I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out. I have a Patreon if you want to support me and what I do. You can even do it for like $1 a month or whatever. You guys kind of know what Patreon is. Check it out. I'll have a link at the bottom. I also have an eBook. You guys can check that out. It's on my website. I'll have a link for all that stuff at the bottom. And again, I appreciate you guys. I'm getting ready to come up on 50K followers on Instagram. So I want to give something away to you guys and whoever else is out there on Instagram land. Appreciate you guys for hanging out there as well. It's just mind-blowing that someone would want to follow me and see what I do, but I appreciate you guys for hanging out. You can hear the fresh music about to pop in. So that's my time to go. I am the Black Bob Ross, the Maddpenciler, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Peace.